You know, I was never a huge fan of the fighting game genre. I didn't mind them in my early childhood, but I preferred platformers instead. That all changed on Christmas 2012 when I unwrapped Mortal Kombat Armageddon for the PlayStation 2. And I loved this game, and so did my sisters too, who weren't even fans of blood and gore. This game instantly got me hooked to the Mortal Kombat series. The following years, I played Mortal Kombat 3 for the Sega Genesis and Mortal Kombat 9 for the PS3 and later the Xbox 360. And Mortal Kombat vs. DC if that counts. All of these games I really liked. Yes, that includes Mortal Kombat vs. DC, and as soon as I got my PS4 on Christmas morning in 2015, Mortal Kombat X was my most anticipated game to get. Soon after, I finally got Mortal Kombat X, and I was blown away by it. So naturally, 4 months ago, I decided to revisit the game to see if I still liked it as much, and to train myself for the upcoming Mortal Kombat 11. Upon doing so, however, I did notice a few flaws to the game. So, what did this game do right? What did it do wrong? Well, let's take a look at Mortal Kombat X. So, upon entering the main menu of Mortal Kombat X, you'll see a lot of things carried over from the previous installment. A full story mode, which I'll judge on its own later. The ladders come back, obviously. The online makes a return, and so does the crypt. Sadly though, they have taken out Test to Your Might and Tag Team Combat. Two features from the last game I really enjoyed and was sad to see go. And once you really think about it, this game is way shorter in content than the last game. While the last story mode has 16 chapters, this one only has 12. While the last game had 26 playable characters, this one has 25. And the removing of Tag Team mode basically removed a whole layer of online. So while not a lot of content is missing, it's still somewhat underwhelming because with a sequel you're always supposed to expect more, not less. Now let's get into towers, which is kinda the staple of the Mortal Kombat franchise. Pretty good this time a while. You can either play the traditional towers or some others with a twist to it. This game also supports regular training and fatality training from the last game. The online has the same modes from the last game, but with the Tag Team Online combat being taken out as mentioned prior. Test Your Luck makes a triumphant return along with a new mode called Team Combat. I have yet to play it because the player base for it is non-existent. King of the Hill comes back, and it's still fun to make fun of the tryhards who infest that mode, and a lot of others which I am too lazy to mention. But enough of such dumb, useless things such as content. Let's get into the actual combat. So with 25 characters, with some being returning fan favorites such as Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and Johnny Cage, we got some new fighters like Devora, Kotal Khan, and the Combat Kids, the offsprings and relatives of fighters like Liu Kang, Sonya, Kenshi, Johnny, and others. The game is packed with alternative feature called variations. If you choose a character, that character will have a different moveset and slightly altered costumes. It's not a completely awful idea, however, I would prefer if instead of variations, the fighters all had all of their movesets in the game. It'd be awesome to see every fighter with an extraordinary plethora of moves at the player's disposal. Now, time for the gameplay. The character controls pretty well for the most part, and it's easy to maneuver around. Juggling your opponent is still fairly easy to do for experienced players, and it's just as satisfying as ever. However, sometimes you will find yourself trying to block and it won't block for some reason. I don't know, it's weird. And there are some cheap characters that I do have a bone to pick with. Those characters being Liu Kang, Jason, who is a DLC character, and the final boss of both the story and ladder, Corrupted Shinnok. Liu Kang for his bicycle kick and his rapid punch attack, Jason for his cheap machete throw, and Corrupted Shinnok for this move alone. There are unlockable moves characters can do, which unblockable moves which characters can do, which sucks. But what about the finishers? The finishers are back and better than ever. You have standard fatalities, which are awesome and gorier than the last game, classic fatalities, which are returning fatalities from previous games, and brutalities, which are both awesome and satisfying to successfully pull off. Sadly, brutalities are gone from the babalities are gone from the last game, but they kind of make up for that with critalities. I have always been furious when I was obliterating an opponent in the last game only to have them rage crit, causing the match to abruptly end. In this game, however, if your opponent crits, their heads explode, and you can get points from that match. That is freaking awesome. So yeah, I think I have covered the majority of the game so far. Next time, I will be doing an analysis of the story, where I will also give my final verdict of the game. Stay tuned.